the number one thing that would contribute to my success would be goal setting, deciding what I wanted to do, and setting a goal. I really had two types of goal setting. I had one that was in production, how much production I would get. Then I had a long-range goal setting where my home, the long-range goals, building a paid-for home, money in the bank, the luxuries of life, and all of those things was a completely different set of goals than the day-by-day action that you would produce more and more because you need more for this goal setting and you produce more for the production to give you the income that you need or the income that you didn't think you would ever reach is more like it than the one that you need. And you learn to put money away and save money, which is so important. Out of every dollar that passed through your hand, 10 cents is yours to keep and put to work for you. I started with that theory. I listened to The Richest Man in Babylon, that little tape, and I started with the 10 cents. And the last time I checked it, I was actually banking 70 cents out of every dollar that passed through my hand. Then I'd have to pay the government that would knock it down a little bit. But at one time that I checked it, I know on Nongsa Road, I just built a new building and I put a safe in. The first week was in there, and they broke into the safe and knocked the door off, and they didn't get the money. I had the money in the envelope. They messed everything up, and in that safe I had that little tape, and my son was helping me clean the mess up, and he picked that tape up and he said, "Boy, if I had done what this said do, the first time I listened to it, boy, where I would be today would be great." And I said, I did that and much more. And he said, I wish I had. So it's by bringing that to my attention, and then that's when I went and checked to see how much I really had done, and I come up with the 70 cents, which I thought was phenomenal. And the reason I was able to do that because everything was paid for. All I had to do was buy groceries and insurance and those kind of things. So I didn't have no house payment, no car payment, so forth. So that allows you more money that would go into your savings account. As an agent, I was the agent of the year, premium lead of the year. I was manager of the year for 3 consecutive years. We were bought out by a larger company that their sales were so large that I honestly couldn't believe the top producer. When they showed me the numbers, I went home that night and said to the wife, I said, "You know Jackie Gardner didn't earn this much money." Well, it took me about 6 months of writing for this company. In the first production, I was in 10th place. This other company, a smaller company, I was number 1. I couldn't even think big enough to think I would ever be number 1 with this company. But starting out, I looked at the guy just ahead of me. I said, "Boy, you better get it, I'll pass you." And I did just that, and I passed the next one, and then the next one. 14 months later, I was number 1 with that company. and I held that position for 16 consecutive years. And I did that as a agent, as a manager, and as a general agent. And then I started Continental Insurance Service, and when I started Continental Insurance Service, I took on more companies, and I designed a policy and shot the moon. I wrote more coverage than I ever dreamed. And the success of that program is what earned enough money that I was able to start my own insurance company. So goal setting, you can do so much more than you can ever imagine. Once you put your blinders on and you decide what you're going to do, and you meet that goal, and then you meet another goal, and first thing you know, you're producing much greater than you could ever imagine. I guess it meant so much to me. I guess the reason I started helping other people, and the joy of giving. In my book, there's a paragraph, there's a chapter on the joy of giving, and I go in great detail what giving and what helping the underprivileged, and someone is sick, or whatever the case may be, what it means to you. And as I get older and look back at that, it means more than anything. Just to think the years that I did something great for someone, I still remember. What I got that Christmas, I have no idea. So that within itself will let you know what it means to you. It's just giving someone a helping hand when the streak of bad luck hits. It's really what it's all about. And I continue today to look for motivating books. I hardly read anything except self-helping type books. I like to see what turns someone else on and learn from that. Reading is, you can just get lost in it, and you can broaden your thinking. It just means so much to me, reading motivational books. Believe it or not, about 6 months ago, I sat down and read my own book. And when I got through, I told Sadie, I said, I was a busy boy. I said, reading this book let me know how busy I was. But I was happy. I loved it. I had my eyes set on a goal. I was doing things. I was getting things done. But in the course of all the action, I was a busy man. Decide early on what you want to do. Set your goal and go make it happen. Read motivational books. Continually read a motivational book. Be reading one at all times. Listen to motivational tapes. The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale. There's no telling how many times I have listened to that motivational tape. For years upon years and years. I've given away books, and I used to buy books by the case, and Think and Grow Rich by the case, motivational tapes, to motivate my agents to do the same thing. Because once the person sets a goal and he establishes confidence that he can obtain that goal, then you don't have to worry about it. He's self-motivated. He'll go make it happen. And thank goodness, over a period of years, I've been able to bring people into business and see them when they first joined the company, drive a car that sort of beat up and he's dressing not too good, just the suit, you could tell they need to go to the store. And then you watch that person, a year later, you see them change. And then it's not long till you see them in a new car, you see them in a new suit, you see them buy a new home, and you see the success of that family. Because somehow or another, you shook that genius that was in him all along. He had it all along. You woke it up and you put it to action. You caused him to do what he was capable of doing all along. And I guess probably the greatest feeling I've ever witnessed when I go around and visit people and see the change that has taken place in the few years that they represent me. It's really heartwarming and satisfying to see that and know that somehow or another you woke up what he had inside of him, that desire. You got him to get it in perspective and get it, funnel it in the right direction and go make it happen. Faith, enthusiasm. To be enthusiastic, you have to act enthusiastic. You gotta have faith. Faith that you do your best. When you do your best, you will win. When you do your best, you'll find that your best is among the best. And then you look back and you've done things that you never dreamed that you could do. And you've stepped up a notch and a notch. It's just like going into the clouds, just like a giant step that leads up and then to the clouds. And your goal is on the far side of that. You know you want it, but you can't quite see it. The cloud's in the way, but as you climb that step, first thing you know, you get an outline of that goal. Then you say, it's going to be mine. It is mine. And then as you get closer, it gets more distinct. And then you know it's yours because you made it happen. Well, I would encourage an individual to take advantage of anything that the government is going to do to help them. I think the government intervening in health care is many times ends up costing the taxpayer because there's so many doctors, hospitals, providers that will abuse the system. And they will do things they shouldn't do. They would run the cost up and make it bad for everyone. So, but for as an individual, I think they should take advantage of whatever the supplementary coverage your government would give them and then supplement it with private insurance. The weekly and monthly, even daily goals, I had daily goals, but mainly weekly and monthly and annual goals. We used to, we'd build a pyramid, and January, February, March, April, May, and you'd write your production in each step. On the pyramid, like this, you go for 12 months. You write your production in, how many applications, how many sales you're gonna make, and how much premium you're gonna collect. And then you would shoot for that. And so many times you would be 3 months down the road, and you've exceeded your goal. And then you say how much further above your goal you can go. You kind of change your goal to see how much above it that you can go. Then at the end of the year, you realize how small you was thinking. And as you grow and setting goals, and you start producing more, you do it through manpower, you do it through being better at what you're doing, closing a higher ratio of sales. And it's just a combination of all these things that make this happen. But the net result, you end up earning so much more money than you could ever imagine. When someone really needs help, I always step in. And to me, that was a great feeling to be financially able to do so.